Most people will waste their lives not because they are incapable of greatness, but because they never dare to believe they were meant for it. The tragedy isn't that life is short, it's that we spend too much of it distracted, comfortable, complacent. The world is full of people who will go through the motions, check the boxes, follow the rules, and wonder why they feel empty. They'll trade passion for safety. They'll trade dreams for habits. They'll settle into routines, never realizing that those routines have become cages. Most people will wake up one day and ask, "How did I get here?" Not because they didn't have options, but because they never truly tried to explore them. Most people think they have time. They think tomorrow is promised, that next year will be different, that somehow, magically, life will sort itself out. But the truth is, life doesn't wait. It moves on, it moves forward, and if you're not intentional, it will move on without you. The saddest truth about most people is that they don't even realize they're wasting their lives. They confuse being busy with being productive. They confuse distraction with entertainment. They think comfort equals happiness. And slowly, quietly, their fire goes out. They stop dreaming. They stop growing. They start surviving instead of living. But you have a choice. You can refuse to be most people. You can decide that average isn't your destiny. That ordinary isn't your identity. That fitting in is no longer your goal. You can wake up to your life and say, "Not me, not now, not ever." The world will try to mold you into something safe, familiar, controllable. But you weren't born to fit in. You were born to stand out. You were born to build, to lead, to challenge, to rise, and that means rejecting the path that most people take. It's easy to fall into the crowd. It's easy to follow the herd. It's easy to let fear make your decisions and routines set your direction. That's what most people do. But greatness is never found in what's easy. It's found in discomfort. In struggle, in daring to be different. So if you're tired of going through the motions, if you're tired of feeling like something's missing, if you're tired of watching life pass you by, then you're already ahead of most people. The awareness that you want more, that you are more, is the beginning of the change. You don't need a perfect plan. You don't need permission. You don't need to wait for the right time. You need a decision. A decision to no longer waste your life. A decision to no longer accept average. A decision to no longer delay your calling. Most people will waste their life because they're too afraid to live it. Don't be most people. Be the exception, be the one who wakes up, be the one who takes the risk, speaks the truth, dares to dream, and leaves with purpose. Your life is not a rehearsal. This is it. Don't wait, don't hope, don't wish. Act, lead, create, become, because the only thing more terrifying than failing is looking back and realizing you never tried. The world doesn't need more people who settle. It needs more people who decide. Decide to rise, decide to lead, decide to shake off the doubt and rewrite the story they were told. Most people will tell you to be realistic, to lower your expectations, to do what everyone else is doing, because that's what they did. They gave up on their dreams, so they can't stand to see you chase yours. But you don't have to listen. You don't owe the world your silence, your conformity, or your permission to stay small. What you owe yourself is a chance to see what happens if you give your full effort. A chance to see who you could become if you stopped living in fear. Most people avoid the hard path because it's uncomfortable, but what they don't see is that all growth lives in the discomfort. Everything you want is on the other side of effort, of focus, of pushing through when it gets hard, and it will get hard. But hard is not a reason to quit, it's a reason to go all in. What separates those who make something of their lives from those who don't isn't intelligence, luck, or talent. It's intention. Most people drift. They wake up with no direction, no drive, and no clarity. They let the day lead them instead of leading the day. They live for the weekend and waste the week. They play small and wonder why they never feel fulfilled. But you, if you want to be different, have to decide every morning that your life matters, that your time is precious, that your goals deserve your full attention. You have to stop negotiating with your potential and start demanding more from yourself. There is no inspiration in being average. There is no pride in doing what everyone else is doing. There is only regret waiting at the end of a life unlived. Don't be another story of someone who could have been great. Be the story of someone who chose to be great. Most people let fear run their lives, fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of standing out, but the reality is, Fear never leaves, you just get stronger. You learn to act despite the fear. You learn to trust your gut more than the opinions of others. Most people are so consumed with what others think, they forget to think for themselves. They follow a path because it's safe, not because it's right. But you're not here to live a life that just looks good. You're here to live a life that feels right. And that only happens when you stop trying to fit in and start choosing to stand out. The path you want won't be crowded, because most people will avoid it. They'll say it's too hard, too risky, too uncertain. But what they don't realize is that staying where they are is the greatest risk of all. Most people live their lives avoiding failure, not realizing that in doing so, they're avoiding success too. They never put themselves in a position to grow. They never stretch, they never reach, they never even try. But growth doesn't happen in safety. It happens when you lean into the uncomfortable, when you chase the thing that scares you. When you commit even when you're unsure, that's where life gets real, that's where purpose is born. If you want to live differently, you have to think differently, you have to move differently, you have to believe differently. Stop looking around to see what others are doing. Most people are lost, most people are stuck, most people are waiting for something outside of them to change the life inside of them. Don't wait. You don't need more time. You need more courage. You don't need more information. You need more belief. The kind of belief that says, even if I fail, I'll rise again. Even if I fall behind, I'll catch up. Even if it takes time, I will make it. Because the truth is, most people won't even start. And the moment you begin, you've already set yourself apart. When the years pass, and you'll look back and ask yourself one question. Did I truly live, or did I just exist? Most people will look back with regret, not because they aimed too high and missed, but because they aimed too low and hit. They'll remember the dreams they buried, the chances they never took, the potential they left unexplored. But you don't have to be most people. You can be the one who chose courage over comfort. You can be the one who dared to believe there was more inside of you, and then went to war to bring it out. The cost of a bold life is discomfort. The cost of an average life is regret, and only one of those lasts forever. You weren't born to blend in. You weren't created to be invisible. Your life was meant to mean something, so wake up, show up. Step up, do the work, take the risk, live with urgency, speak with purpose, move with fire, because in the end, it won't matter what most people did. It will only matter what you chose to do. Don't be most people. Be the exception. Be the difference. Be fully, unapologetically alive.